All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Lunch and Learn. I am Jeremy. I will be the host today from the training team. I did check our pre-submitted questions before starting this, and I did not see anything. So unless it came through right after I checked it, or we don't have anything, if you do have any questions, please post them in the chat or the Q&A, and I will be happy to do my best in answering and helping through them. And with that in mind, I will give it a minute for anyone to post any questions or other people to join, and I'll kind of go over the typical things, the uh, QR codes and stuff that we've got up here, just for anyone that is new or has not seen these before. So we do have our YouTube channel, so you can go check it out. It's just decisions-support. And this is where we post our the YouTube channel will repost all of our Lunch and Learn links. So all the recordings from previous Lunch and Learns you can check out there. So maybe there's questions that you've had asked, or maybe you just kind of want to check one out if you didn't get to attend the Lunch and Learn, see if there's any interesting questions. All the questions posted in the description and stuff, so you can track those with timestamps if you want to look at anything specific. We also post questions or post videos up each week. Man, I'm fumbling on my words today. We post videos each week with different things like levels of content and some steps and things like that, to kind of go over specific steps and decisions and look at different common mistakes that people make when working with those steps and stuff like that. So you can check that out on the YouTube channel. You can also check out our solutions marketplace. So I'll just jump there real quick. Take a look at a number of different applications and things to kind of check out and showcase a lot of really neat things that you can do in decisions. I believe we will have a video on our YouTube channel about the Playbook Activity Manager coming up pretty soon, to go a little bit further into how this works. So that'll be pretty neat. But yeah, you can always come in, check out one of these, um, go ahead and like download this and kind of see what if it has anything interesting to you, and check it out in your actual instance. So you can download it from here, get a couple more ideas about it, and things like that, just from the marketplace. And that's marketplace.decisions.com. And then one other thing I wanted to highlight real quick too is just our events, specifically one coming up in October where we will actually have a virtual Submerse. So we just had a Submerse live in Virginia Beach that just completed. We will have one coming up in Singapore as well, for anyone that's willing to make that travel or may kind of be close. We'll have that, but also we'll have a virtual one. This is our first virtual Submerse that we'll be trying in October. So definitely consider attending if there's anything that may interest you. So other than that, we would be able to let's take a look at some of these questions. We do have a couple coming in. So far it looks like I got something from James and something from Bridget. So we will get to those. James, your question came in first. So I will give you the opportunity to talk so you can expand on it. Says you have a question about case entity states creation.
Sure. So I have a use case where I need to create states on the fly within a flow. And I can't find I mean, I know the table that can do it, but I don't see any steps. Are there steps that can handle that for me? Instead of having to physically go in online to the configuration file and enter them there.
Right. Let me just create a quick
Yep.
case entity because I don't have one here.
Yeah. Okay, so you can go here and add your states and stuff. Can I do that in a flow? What I want to be able to do is get rid of the ones that it creates the started and completed. And
Hmm.
based on the configuration entity, I want to create the states myself so that because what we're doing is we're creating a workflow processing project that will allow people to go in and create their their states for workload, the criteria that goes along with it, and any um, approval lists. And we'll just have we'll have in that, the name of the flow to run for each state. So it'll be totally automated.
Okay.
But I just need to figure out, I mean, I can do it programmatically with because I know what entity they sit in, but I didn't know if there was a step that would allow me to do these things. I couldn't find it. I know the set entity state will add a state if it's not there. But I don't see anywhere I can remove a state if through a flow. Unless I just
Right.
did like a, update it or delete it, or something like that.
Yeah, so my initial thought here is I would think we would want to be very careful with just being able to have some people create states, just something to consider. Because I know in some elements, it's a risk you have to take. If someone's creating a state, they type something in wrong, it's going to create a state with that typo.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
we're
things
we're
like
aware of
that.
that because this would all be
Okay.
done on configuration too, and it would only be done at certain points in the process. So once the states were created and set up, that would be controlled.
Got it. Okay.
And again, all the trigger flows and all that would be specified in this configuration as well. So, um, that would be taken care of as well.
Let me take a quick look. See if something jumps out in documentation. I don't think there is.
Yeah, I looked
I
around, I
mean,
couldn't see anything, but it's possible.
yeah, none of these set states will do anything on case entities because those are for process folders.
The set entity state will.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, and that will create a new state. Um, but I can't find anything to remove a state. Yeah, which I understand why
Right.
there's probably not any steps to do that because that is kind of iffy if you don't do it right. You could screw things up, but um, this will be a contained process that will be very, controlled.
I'm gonna look through internal services because I mean to me this sounds like something that could be, obviously something that could potentially cause some like risks and things that we don't really want people to accidentally mess up, which might be why we
Yeah,
don't actually have an obvious out of the box step for it, but there
yeah.
could be a service that might be related. I don't know for sure though. States are related to folders. Or the states are on the folder level. I don't know if there would be anything specific about setting or removing states from a folder though. That's also a little bit different than an actual like this is just where the state is held.
Mhm. I was kind of hoping that because it sounded from the description like that playbook module you just put out did something similar to this because it's creating tasks and stuff, but it's different than what I was thinking it would be.
Mm,
It's not actually creating entities and assigning states or to those entities or anything like that. What we're
right.
looking to do is create a custom um, an automated workflow engine, basically. So they can set up because we have that in our current ERP system where they can set up their workflows, what states they go to, and who gets what's criteria for that state to be active or not, and then what approvers are assigned to that. And that can be a list or it can be a query, many things. It's very flexible. And we're trying to replicate that in decisions to take it out of our ERP system because um, we're going to change ERP systems in the near future. So
Mhm.
um, that's the impetus behind all this is we really want to create we want to kind of create a custom workflow engine
Right.
that will create these for us. And eventually
Actual.
it'll get to where it creates the actual case too,
Hmm.
the case entity, I'm sorry.
Oh, there we go. Case editor service. This might be something we're playing around with.
Okay,
Obviously, internal services, you just general always want to be careful with these. That's why they're kind of like bucketed into this. But case editor service, if it's related to a case,
okay.
we can create things. There's a delete state. So it looks like if I have the
All right, I'll
correct
play with that.
information on it, I
All
should
right,
be able to delete states from here, save states.
gotcha. Update
Um,
steps.
so
All
yeah,
right,
maybe that might be worth checking
let me
out. I
look
think this is the
around.
closest you're gonna get. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I don't think we can do it.
yeah. I'll look at that. There was one other thing. If you go back to your case list, in your data, um, structures folder to the case itself.
You're talking about
Yeah, just go back to your folders. Now go to that case, the actual
this
case
one.
itself. So click on data structures.
Oh, on the like this.
Yeah,
This is what you're talking about.
yeah. Now right click that and do more and do get folder extension ID. That's not the folder extension ID,
It actually
or is it?
there
Because
there
that's
are
like this table
IDs.
space thing.
Yeah, there are IDs if you if you go and like query things, you will see that there are some
Yeah,
cases where the IDs actually do show that stuff.
well, then what? Okay, I guess then my next question is, what table is that stored on? Where it lists all? Because I was looking at folder, what was it? Folder entity, I think it was. I got the queries. I was trying to figure out what table has that and that set up for that case entity, so that I can grab its ID and use it. You know, like if I were going to create states off of it, I need to be able to grab that ID somehow. Um, and I couldn't figure out what table that was.
If you're looking for yeah, so they're
The
going to
entity.
just in general be entity like underscore folder,
Yeah,
but
that's the one
then
I was
like
looking at. So what
obviously everything is in here, so you'd want to like add more specifics.
yeah, I
Throw a
got
where
it.
clause for
I
like your
found
title.
where I can look it up by the name, the
Hmm.
actual name I called it, but I don't know what ID to grab that I could use in other flows to specifically say, like the, what's that table? The expected folder state table that's connected to that actually has all the states associated with that
Hmm.
case entity in it. Um, how do I link that back to just not each individual, um, you know, case that's made, but the actual case itself? You know what I mean?
The data structure, you mean?
Yeah, the data structure. How do I link that to that? That's what I was trying to get to, so that um, I could programmatically, figure out, okay, for this data structure, this is the ID I need to use to create these expected folder states. Um, I couldn't find the link because that expected folder state has the entity folder ID on it. I think that's how it identifies, but I don't know where that lives on the structure part.
Yeah, I guess these are more specific about like an actual like one that gets created, not the data structure itself.
Yeah, I guess I was missing where the data structure is.
Um, I can get this. It's been a while since I've done. I'm not a big query person, but I know I've
Yeah, I usually just
done
type
it
in,
before.
oh, I usually
S-
type in folder and see if I can, like, if
This.
there's anything is that it?
Yeah, so this is my like
Oh,
the case entity itself, right?
okay,
And so it has these are like, here's my property one and two that I created,
sure.
but it's based on like that namespace. So it includes, right, projects because it's in the project folder, lunch and learn, that's the name of my project.
Oh,
Um,
so you just look, that's a database object itself. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now I know
Yeah.
how to
So if
do it.
you're looking for that in your query editor, it's
Yep,
like I just
that'll give
started
me that
to
idea.
type the name of my case entity itself,
Okay,
and I can see that from here.
gotcha. All right, I think that'll get me started on what I need to do. I'll take a look at that. What was the name of that again? That was the internals, the steps that I need to look at, the internal services and
Yeah, the call internal services that comes
case
from
editor
integration.
service. Yeah,
Yeah, it comes from integration, internal services, integration, internal services. And you're on version 9, right? Yeah, so you'll have
yes,
this step, and then from within it, case editor service. I think
yep,
mess around with that. I think that's the closest you're going to get. Otherwise,
yeah,
I'm not sure if we have
yeah.
what
Okay,
exactly what you're looking for.
yeah. All right, I can play around with that. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Yep, no problem. All right. All right. But Bridget's question is, this might be a silly question, but can I connect an SFT site, an application like Filezilla and SQL, or would decisions flow be able to do this function? Um, yeah, I think in general, some elements. Are you like just, is your company still like considering decisions? Have you already like signed?
We have already purchased it,
Okay.
and this is just like my first week on it. And so I
Mhm.
was trying to play around in my area with my license to get the that third party application that we receive data on, if I could connect that to SQL itself, like use decisions to connect those two flows.
Yes, I don't know like maybe like exact specifics.
Mhm.
Um, but quite often you can connect there's a lot of different ways that you can connect to the different things, and it really just kind of depends on what exactly and how exactly you want these things to connect. So obviously decisions connects to its own database that you have to be connected to. Whatever that may be, like I use SQL Server
Yes.
to connect to mine, right? And so like I kind of have some of that element in that kind of inherently, but there's other ways depending on what you want to connect to.
Mhm.
We have like our various integrations that you can connect. So
Okay.
you can connect here to other databases. So like I have just an example here to connect to, but if you know your database that you need to connect to, whatever that type is, um, you know, like whatever that database is, and then the actual like data if you need to
Mhm.
connect to it, and then you just simply hit test and connect to that. So as long as you're connected from there, you can set up. There's various external services you can connect as well. So if you need to create a REST service to connect to some other URL, um,
Mhm.
and have available there any like authentication set up that you need and stuff like that. Obviously you can connect those as well. Um, to connect decisions can be called in this way, and there's other places as well. So kind of anywhere that where they have some kind of API or whatever kind of connection that you can set up, you can set that up in decisions to call
Okay.
out to and reach out to those things for sure. Um,
Awesome.
and I do know, like, I know you've started training. I remember yesterday you were asking about getting that training switched. Like
Yes.
our training does go over some elements of these things to
Mhm.
connect to some of the stuff. So after like the basic training, we have our major projects. And some of those projects will go into adding REST services to connect to something else and setting like properly setting up the URLs and things like that. In
Perfect.
addition to like connecting to a database in order to have access to um, information from some other database, not the one that decisions is necessarily pointing to. We talk about that as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. All right. All right. So far, um, that is all the questions I have. I'm happy to answer other things if anyone else has additional questions or anything they'd like me to explore.
Good for today. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah. We will have lunch and learn the rest of this week.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Bye.
Yep. Bye. If we got no other questions, we can go ahead and end our lunch and learn for today. Looks like Robert will be leading the call tomorrow. So we'll be able to answer any other questions. Feel free to pre-submit any questions, join tomorrow, check out all of our other things if you're interested, YouTube channel, Solutions Marketplace. And we will hopefully see everyone soon. Thank you all for joining today.